remember when you were 4 years old and hiding under the kitchen table, secretly eating chocolate? I do. Or even searching for a spot in the yard to play in away from where your parents could see you. I do remember that, and I think that at least once in our lives, we have all been searching for a safe space somewhere. And at the age of 4, that was pretty easy. But how do you do this now that you're an adult? Or better yet, how do you do this when you live in a country that is run by an ever-present machine? These are the questions that I have been exploring in the past 6 years in Tunisia. So I'm not going to ask you to tell me where it is, because I know a lot of people have no clue where Tunisia is, and that's okay, don't be shy, we have this covered today. I got a map with me. So Tunisia is right there, this little country, and more precisely, it's here, on the Mediterranean Sea. This little country may have first caught your attention when it brought to an end its own dictatorial machine in 2011, in a very violent context, with hundreds of people who actually died in the process. That machine, that was everywhere, at every level of the society, depended on a very pervasive police presence and was using security as a goal to justify its own existence. But with censorship being one of its main tools, it was a physical security at the expense of intellectual safety. Intellectual safety was simply nowhere. Tunisia is actually not the country I have always called my home. When I moved there in 2009, at the age of 22, freshly graduated student, and out of a lot of curiosity for my parents' country, I found myself among young people who were fighting for values that, for me, Western educated students, really never occurred. These young people were fighting for very powerful things, such as freedom of expression, respect, and overall dignity. And I was witnessing these amazing energies with a lot of admiration. But at the same time, I remember feeling extremely anxious anywhere I was, and all the time. And particularly when I had to encounter anything related to an official structure or administration or police for any basic task that any citizen would have to complete. That wasn't because there was a physical danger, but because, as any other citizen, I could feel a constant shadow on free thinking. I was quite shocked by that paradox where a government was prioritizing our physical security and establishing itself as the guardian of our bodies, but as the bodies were guarded, it felt like the minds were in chains. The thing that I have learned is that security is not safety. Security cannot be safety. I was wondering, how can we feel safe anywhere if we are not free to explore with our minds? How can we ever feel a sense of belonging to a society that never invites us to safely take part in the conversation that needs to happen in a society? The challenge today in my country, but in many others, is not about physical security alone. It is about creating a more inclusive society everywhere, by guaranteeing to everyone the right to feel safe within their opinion, to express themselves, and to create so that we can move forward as national communities. And to do so, creating safe spaces for all kinds of communities occurred as a way to start moving toward a more inclusive society. So you must be wondering, what is really a safe space? How is it any different from a conversation in a cafe or in a closed room? A safe space is an environment that can be physical or intellectual that is safe enough for people to feel free to share and express themselves. We see and we hear a lot about safe spaces for causes like sexual minorities or violence, but I truly believe that there must be a safe space for anything that matters to any of us. This may seem like a very basic concept to you guys, but trust me, a lot of people still do not have access to a safe space. But on the other hand, we also see a lot of amazing examples being created around the world. Like in Egypt, an example that I like that is called the Harris Map. The Harris Map is an initiative that runs through a mobile application that has teamed up with local business owners to create safe spaces for women that are in harm's way. So for example, if a woman is assaulted or harassed on the street, she can easily go to the app and find the nearest business for protection. Or another example of safe space that's been created by my friend Nate in Kenya. It's the TEDx Community Prison. So it's a TEDx within a prison in Kenya where the inmates are invited to share ideas, opinions, but the prison staff is also there. So it's actually changing the way both groups of people are seeing each other. And the third example, if we go back to Tunisia, is the very first recognized LGBT association that's called Shams, that was created last year, that offers a very rare and unique safe space for the LGBT community in Tunisia, in a country where homosexuality can still take you to jail up to now. How can we create a safe space? It's valid everywhere, and any of us can create a safe space for something that matters to us. And it's actually very simple rules that we can apply to ourselves. The first rule, if you want to create a safe space, is to identify a cause or problem you really care about, and you're ready to fully engage to solve or to address. The second ingredient would be to identify the participants, invite them, but most importantly, make sure that their presence is voluntary. In a safe space, you invite participants to engage in a honest and authentic dialogue, so you truly want them to want to be there. You can't force them into this. Third ingredient, you need to set ground rules, and ideally you crowdsource them from the participants. These ground rules could be respect, no interruption, confidentiality, anything really that can protect the safe aspect of that environment. Number 4, transparency. You need to make the safe space's objective and motivation transparent and available to everyone. And the last ingredient is you need to be ready to welcome feedbacks. So these safe spaces are actually key in building these more inclusive societies. Not only in countries like mine, but everywhere, anywhere around the world. It's important that any kind of community can find a place where they can feel free to express. When I understood how powerful these safe places that bring together these communities of explorers are in shaping the future of society, me, my friends, my team, and my colleagues, we also wanted to participate and create this kind of opportunities for people to meet. So in 2010, we started TEDxCarthage as a platform for people to share ideas, express themselves, but also to stimulate societal ideas. And it started at a very small event of less than 200 people and dramatically grew to 2,500 people now, with an audience that's getting younger and younger every year. As we also try to push for systematic changes in Tunisia, particularly after what happened in 2011, we were also looking for ways to involve the government in a meaningful and safe conversation with other actors of society. So we created another concept that's called Afkar, Afkar meaning ideas in Arabic, that is a safe space on a mission to bridge the gap between important actors of a society. This photo that was taken a few months ago gathered for a whole day and for a very open discussion the government representative, as well as civil society major actors. And by creating this space that was very intimate, they actually spent the day discussing openly their problems, and some of them were very deep, but also coming up with solutions together. These two examples are an extremely small sample of projects that are working to explore possibilities for our futures, when in reality there are so many amazing projects working on building the new Tunisia. These initiatives actually give to everyone the opportunity to safely take part in a conversation that matters to them. And doing so is the way to everyone's inclusiveness in the society. Because when we are allowed to explore what is possible to our minds and communicate these visions freely, then we can start drawing from the potential of all our citizens and communities. Whatever the issue you're about to start identifying, whatever problem you will be touched by, check if there is a safe space for it. And if not, be the person who starts it, so people can actually come and get naked with you intellectually, I guess.